For nearly 25 years, Christopher K. Daly served as the City of Arvada's city attorney, providing legal counsel and guidance to dozens of elected city leaders during a period of significant growth and change to our community. On July 31st, 2019, Chris Daly retired from the city. Chris's municipal career has spanned 42 years. He spent 15 years with the Aurora City Attorney's Office before being appointed city attorney for Glenwood Springs, where he served for 3 years. He became Arvada's city attorney in 1995. He also served as Arvada's acting city manager from July 1996 to February 1997. I'm honored to be joined today by Chris Daly to talk with him about his years of public service and how that experience and the city of Arvada have changed over time. Chris, thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure to be here. It's an honor.
Well, I thought we'd start off by learning a little bit about how you got into law and a little bit about how you chose public service as a career.
Sure. So I came from a large family, 10 children, and my oldest brother was an attorney. And when my father died, I was about 13 years old, and my oldest brother became my role model. And because he was an attorney, I made a decision right about that age that that's what I wanted to be. As far as public service goes, I was attending Regis College, now it's Regis University, but I was attending Regis College and I was doing a work study program through the Central Records section, their archives section at the city of Aurora. And I got to meet some members from the city attorney's office, including Charlie Richardson, who was then an assistant city attorney with the office. He'd come down and ask for records and we struck up a relationship. And I approached him about a position in the city attorney's office because I wanted to go to law school. And Charlie went to the city attorney, then Lee Coulter, and they hired me as a law clerk actually before the first day of law school, and which I attended at the University of Denver at night.
Did you have any idea that it would lead to a 42-year career in public service?
Absolutely not. You know, I wasn't even sure if I could make it through law school. You know, I had such high esteem for my brother and I thought he was the smartest person ever. And I was like, wow, I don't know if I can do this, but I want to try and just see what it's like. And the bug bit me and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So fast forward a few years and now you're city attorney for the city of Arvada. And you serve at the pleasure of city council, or served at the pleasure of city council. What was it like, and how did you maintain that relationship over the course of your time with Arvada as public officials were elected, as public officials left the council? How did you maintain a good relationship with, in effect, your boss?
Well, it's a great question. I think you have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable. Each council member is different, and each council is different. And even if one person gets on a council, and the rest of council is the same, it's a different city council. So you have to adapt to each person in each council, and they have to adapt to you. And it's basically just like working with anyone, really. I mean, I understand that they're politicians and they have, you know, a lot of pressure on them, a lot of public input, you know, to make the right decisions. But I think if you understand that at the end of the day, they're just people, and they're just trying to do the best they can. And in Arvada, I can't speak really for other cities other than, say, Glenwood, you know, and I really wasn't the city attorney in Aurora, but in Arvada, what I always kept in mind is every person on the council loved the city, and I loved the city. And I think that understanding that built a great bridge between us.
Chris, is there, in all your years of service, is there some type of, is there a bedrock philosophy or something that sort of guided your work as you've served city councils?
It's really important to remember when you're the city attorney that your responsibility, your ethical responsibility, is to follow the law. And there are temptations sometimes to try to please your clients, in this case, the city council. The city council wants to do something, and you realize that there may be some legal impediment for what it is that they're trying to do, and you try to look for a way that they can do something legally. But what's important is, ethically, a city attorney is bound, just as every other attorney is bound, to the rules of ethics. And even if the council doesn't like the advice that you're giving, you have to give the advice. And if that doesn't make you popular, you have to live with that, because the job is giving the correct legal advice. It is not trying to please the city council.
I had the opportunity to hear some remarks upon your retirement, and one of the themes that came out was customer service. It's a value of the city. And in thinking about and in hearing you speak about serving the city council, it seems like customer service was really an important facet of your career. Could you talk a little bit about the importance of customer service for you as a public servant?
No, absolutely. I think what it's important to remember is that the city council is elected by the public, and the public are truly the customers. As an ethical matter, the city attorney represents only the council and does not represent individual members of the community, but it's the community that elects the public officials. And so the customer is ultimately the citizens. And everything that you do as the city attorney in giving legal advice to those council members, it's keeping in mind that who you're really serving is the public. It's the citizens. And I'm a citizen. And so I always took great pride in the fact that I knew exactly what was going on in the city attorney's office, and whether I was in the grocery store or I was at a school event or at church, it didn't matter where I was, I would be standing with people that I know were citizens of Arvada and that I was serving them. They may not have known that I was serving them, but I knew it, and that was very satisfying for me.
Powerful. Whether it's serving the community or serving directly council, has over the course of your career, has anything remarkable changed about that experience or your experience in public service? Has anything sort of remarkable happened over the span of time that changed?
Well, I'll tell you, the biggest change for me through my entire legal career really has been the internet. The internet, and then more recently, social media. Because it used to be that some people would come to council and there might be newspapers that would report, whether it was daily newspapers or weekly newspapers that would report what the council did. With social media, it's a 24/7 thing, and the internet is so huge, and all news and information is instantaneous now. It has completely changed not only government but the practice of law.
Chris, as you're well aware, the city is ever increasingly trying to align its work directly with city council priorities. So the city council has a strategic plan, and the city organizes its work to directly support that strategic plan. But I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you view the work in the city attorney's office, the work of your staff, and on sort of a day in and day out basis, how did you make that connection to the city council's priorities for the community, the community's priorities?
It's very simple. Because the city attorney's office doesn't set policy. It is the city council and the city manager that sets the policy. And whatever goals and vision that the council and the city manager has, the job of the city attorney's office is to provide the legal support to make sure that those goals are met. And so it's very easy to adapt, and as councils change and as goals change, you just listen to what the council is telling you, you listen to what the manager wants, and then you review the law and make sure that you can legally do what they want to do.
Is there a specific project or program that you're particularly proud of with the city of Arvada that you supported?
That's a great question. There's so many things that we have done. I will tell you probably the crowning achievement. I mean, there's been some big cases that we've won and saved the city a lot of money. There's been some settlements that the public wouldn't necessarily know about, and they don't necessarily need to know about, that have saved the city millions of dollars. But I would say working together with the mayor and the utilities director, Jim Sullivan, and the city manager, of course, when we were able to strike a deal with the Denver Water Board that amended a previous contract that went way, way back into the 60s, it's going to end up saving the city, probably by the time it's fully effective, nearly $100 million. And that's something I don't think the public really understands. We have a sustainable water source, and we're going to save them probably upwards of $100 million. That's probably the crowning achievement.
Great. So changing course a little bit, what are you going to miss most about working for the city of Arvada and working for the Arvada community?
Well, I got to be frank with you and tell you, I love Arvada. I love the employees. I love the citizens. I love the elected officials. I love public service. To me is a vocation. And I think I will miss that vocation of knowing every day when I get up that I am serving the public and that I'm serving people that I love and I'm serving a community that I love.
What are you looking forward to next, Chris? You've got some time on your hands now. How are you going to spend it?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this huge backpack of pressure off my shoulders. I got to tell you that it is there's a lot of pressure involved in overseeing the legal aspects of a municipal government, and there's pressure about relationships. There's pressure about the demands that the public has on a city. And there's always situations that come up that have legal implications, and so there's quite a bit of worry that is involved in that. And so I think it'll be very interesting for me to see who I am once I'm able to take that pressure off my shoulders, and I'm able to just exhale a little bit and get back in touch with who is Chris Daly without being the city attorney 24/7, because I really believe that when you're in this position, it's not 8 hours a day, it's 24/7, and you have to be ready for anything, and you have to be ready to serve at all times.
Do you think that muscle memory will kick in on the first Monday in August and you'll just show up at City Hall at 6 o'clock?
Well, I'm sure if I do that they will kick me out immediately. I'm sure that they'll show me the door.
Well, Chris, I just want to thank you for your dedicated public service to our community, and thank you for being here today.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that concludes today's discussion. To learn more about the City of Arvada's programs and projects and the latest opportunities to get involved, you can go online and visit us at arvada.org, follow us on social media, and check out the latest engagement opportunities on Speak Up Arvada. And remember that you can always watch live City Council meetings and other programming on Arvada's Channel 8, and you can find recorded meetings and additional videos about the city's projects on the city's YouTube channel. Again, I'd like to thank Chris Daly for being here today, and thank you for watching.